everyone. So, uh, today I wanted to talk about, actually the newest hero in Heroes of the Storm, Orphea, and kind of the problem that she represents. I think, I'm pretty sure I haven't kept this to myself that I've never been really in favor of the adding story to Heroes of the Storm. I've always thought about Heroes kind of like Smash Brothers. Like, I know Smash Brothers has a story mode, but that's all. It's like barely a story. But I always thought of it like Smash Brothers in the sense that it's this mashup of all Blizzard's, properties, and they're fighting. That's it. That's all it needs to be. Just like Smash Brothers is all of Nintendo's properties and a few others, all together, and they're fighting each other. That's it. That's all. There's, no real major thing behind it. That's how I think of Heroes of the Storm. For me, when they started doing, starting to kind of shoehorn this lore into Heroes of the Storm, it's around the same time that League of Legends, I think, started doing pretty much the same thing, and it very much feels like a Me Too thing for them to do. Like, they saw League doing it, and they're just like, hey, we're good at doing stories. Why not do this for Heroes as well? And I gotta say, Heroes really didn't need it. League, it's a nice added-on thing, I think, for them. I can't say much because I've never really played much League. I've never really cared for League. I've always liked Heroes more. But, it's a thing. It's around. For Heroes, the comics, I read all the comics, and they're okay, but the whole story with the Raven Lord just felt rushed. The first one was okay, and then the second one just felt like it felt very like rushed. Where they mentioned Orphea in the first one, and then the next one, okay, Orphea's there and just being chased by, the Raven Lord's minions, and runs into Decker Kane, and then the next thing we know, we're, starting everything with the Dragon Queen and Alterac Valley, because I think that was around the time Alterac Valley was released for Heroes, and it just felt very rushed. Like, in 5 comics, they started from nothing, and then like the 5th one, or no, is it 4? I think it was 4 comics, and then the 4th one, it's pretty much all over. And it felt very rushed. Like, they could have done a lot more. They could have done so much that they didn't, and it kind of bothered me. And like I said, it just didn't feel needed. Like, the whole thing just doesn't feel needed at all. like I said, I haven't liked the idea of having lore in there since the beginning. In the original tutorial, I remember there's like a part where Uther, or like who is it that you play? I think it's Raynar that you play as in the tutorial, and he mentions something about like why they're here and everything, and Uther's just like, don't worry about it. Yeah, Orphea herself, the character herself. I really like the character. I really like her in the game. I just, unfortunately, I just don't. I like her, but it just doesn't feel right. You know that she's not some. She's like an original creation for this game, and for a game that's about other games that Blizzard makes. And it just feels so weird. Like, if they had maybe done this from the beginning, it might be okay. Maybe they could have done something. But it feels, shoehorned in. And it does not mesh well. I don't feel like. I feel like the comics themselves were just created to, introduce Orphea, which they probably were, but don't tell us we're getting lore and then making up some other character that doesn't belong here. I feel like at this point, or 3, 2, 1. I feel like at BlizzCon, they should have maybe, like, they still could have, shown off Orphea, but I feel like they could have, announced another character as well. Like, even if it's months away, like, just say, hey, this other character from this other Blizzard IP that isn't an original thing, that comes from our bad lore, is, showing up. It's going to be showing up at some point. And I think maybe Orphea may have come across a little bit better or something. I don't know. It still would have felt wrong. It still would have felt wrong having her in the game. But like I said, I like the character. It feels great. But at the same time, it's sort of like, but she doesn't belong here. I don't know what to do about what they could have done about that other than not do lore and thus never have creating her. It's one of those things where it's like, well, if they never did this thing in the first place, then we can't miss it. But she's here now, and I really just feel like maybe they should just put a stop to the lore for heroes. I mean, I still want to have, special events and stuff that, they could do still without shoehorning this lore into the game, But I do feel like it's been kind of a mess, and they need to just say, we tried this thing, it didn't work, sorry. And just kind of move on, and we can all pretend like it maybe never happened, other than having, Orphea as that one reminder. But like I said, she's a good character overall. Like in the game, I really like playing as her. But at the same time, it like reminds me of this thing that happened, and I really do feel like it needs to stop. They're just wasting their time and their energy on something that doesn't need to be there. Heroes of the Storm doesn't need lore. It's fine as a, all-star MOBA type thing. So yeah, let me know how you feel about lore in Heroes of the Storm. And until next time, bye.